I suddenly remembered my Charlemagne. Let my armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky.
You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Man, it's like we're beating a dead horse with this Star Wars thing, I tell you what. But, hey, it opened, I went on the preview, and then it opened, and now everybody, all the bloggers, all the video bloggers, the reporters, everybody has seen Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I was going to do a whole different show today. I was planning on talking about some vintage stuff that we don't get to do anymore, but I'm going to save that for another day, only because there's so much more to talk about when it comes to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World that we just have to keep talking about it. And what I'm going to first I'll bring up is, and I'll talk about it very briefly, the guy from Collider had a complete meltdown on air talking about he didn't get an invite to the thing, and F Disney because he didn't, he's been shilling for them for years, and he's been called a shill even though he isn't a shill. And what's weird is, like, his reviews of Rogue One and where he would criticize the movie and then give a high rating. You go, well, you got invited to the premiere, they're stacking the deck against you. You're getting a gift bag, and you want to give them a good review because we'd like to do that again. Wouldn't that be a lot of fun? So we've always suspected that, and have the guy admit it on camera is like, it's rough, because it's like, I don't expect free stuff from anybody. Sometimes people give stuff to the show, and that's great. But I don't go on here and go, I want to invite to X. I'm just not that guy, I didn't ask to even go to Galaxy's Edge. A friend of mine was very gracious enough to ask me, and I was like, well, yes, that's great idea. But as far as, like, screaming and yelling because I didn't get something, like, I saw, forget Disneyland. A month ago, people got these packs from Hasbro of all of the vintage re-release figures. And I watched videos of that because they were, sent them to review them. I watched that, and I was in awe because I want those really bad. I'd do a show. How come nobody's sending them to me? But I wouldn't do that. Instead, you know what I did? I went to 5 Targets. I asked everybody from the clerk at the front to the stalker in the back until somebody went in the back room and got those Star Wars figures, and I purchased them at regular price because it's just, that's life, and I don't expect any kind of special treatment. I've never once said, do you know who I am? I'm not, oh God, that I bristle at the thought of that, of the perception of being that kind of person. And this guy from Collider just sort of admitted that he's that kind of person. It was really weird, really weird. So I hope he goes. Hope he buys a ticket. Hope he goes. Hope he gives an actual honest review of it and not a gift bag paid review. So that's all I'm going to talk about that. Anyways, let's talk about the language that they speak in Batu. I was saying Bantu the whole time, and now I realize it's Batu. There's no N. So it's Batu, the planet of Batu, and we're at Black Spire Outpost when we go to Galaxy's Edge. And, remember I talked about, the bathroom is a refresher, and the drinking fountain is a hydrator, and they don't say good morning, they say bright suns. They don't say good night, they say something rising moons. And they don't say I don't know, they say only the ancients know. Well, I also talked about how they refer to children as younglings and strollers as youngling transports. And I kind of got on them because, youngling's fine, that's from the movie. But I got on them about youngling transport because that's just way too many syllables instead of stroller. Or just call it a transport. Same amount of syllables. I get into George Carlin territory when I talk about let's cut to the chase and use as few syllables as we can, but not slang. Not slang like shortening words I know that Australians call breakfast brekkie. I would never use that. It's not in my vernacular. But I have a friend who is either working there or knows people there. I'm not going to say which. But I will say that he's privy to what's going on the inside. And they've already had guest concerns, which is the theme park speak for guest complaints, for the word youngling. People don't like their kids being referred to in Galaxy's Edge as younglings. Why? Because in the movie, Anakin murders all of the younglings. And that's really the only time that word is used excessively, is talking about the murders of the younglings. And I guess you'd have to be a pretty big Star Wars fan to get that reference. A bigger fan to know what the reference means in the world of Star Wars, and a very sensitive big fan to complain to somebody that using that word upsets you because you know what, in the context of the movie, it means. And man, that is a long road to go down. So I am hoping that is just a rumor. Of course, I won't know till I go back or I ask somebody who's going, do they use the word younglings? Do they reference youngling transports? Because if they don't, and that's true, what does that say about us? Are you serious that you would get upset because in the context of the film they talk about the murder? I mean, that's a bad thing. I did a whole episode called Darth Vader is Not a Hero, and this weird glorification of movie villains as somebody to look up to. When I was a kid, Darth Vader was somebody to fear, not to look up to. Kylo Ren murders people. It's somebody to fear. They're not grand heroes. They're not even anti-heroes. They're just bad guys. So in the movie, the bad guy murders the younglings, and so that none of them can grow up and defy him or challenge his power. It's a terrible thing. You're supposed to be upset. You're supposed to be angry, but not at the word youngling. You're supposed to be upset at the word murder. Does that make sense? It has to. It's common sense. To get upset of the word youngling? Oh, please don't call my child a youngling, because in the movie they murdered them. And give me a break. Give me a break. They also destroyed the Death Star, but we use the word Death Star. I guess we don't call people Death Star. But give me a break. Come on. I'm upset at the word youngling. That's so dumb to me. There's also another one, and I have to look it up on my phone because it's written down. I want to make sure I get it right. Okay, so when you're in Disneyland and you're having you go up to City Hall to complain, a guest concern, and at the end, you let the guy have it. You use all kinds of strong language, and they stand there and smile, and they tell you they're going to fix it, or they figure out how to fix it, and at the end they say, "Have a magical day." That means F you in Disney speak. Have a magical day. I was accused of that at work during Christmas when I would tell people the ice show was full, and they would yell obscenities at me, and I would say, "Merry Christmas." And one guy goes, "You're not really saying Merry Christmas in your head." And I said, "Sir, I'm simply saying Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday." And people got really mad because of what they perceived in their head. So, have a magical day does not mean have a magical day at Disneyland. It means F you and get out. And they actually have one for Galaxy's Edge, I'm told. It's called "You're a Servant of Jabba." Oh, that person's a servant of Jabba. That means you are someone who says, "Let me speak to the manager." In meme speak, you're a Karen, because I know Karen has become ubiquitous with guest concerns. So, if someone says "servant of Jabba," that means you're not a nice person. It's not a Star Wars reference meant to make you smile. It's a Star Wars reference meant to make them feel better and you to be oblivious, which I think is hilarious. So, That's the updates on the Star Wars speak. The other updates are I watched a video of, well, I've watched a lot of videos of Star Wars Land of Galaxy's Edge because I just, I was only there a couple of hours, and I'm trying to look at all the things I missed so that I know next time what not to miss. I really thought Docking Bay 17 or whatever it is, 30, I don't know, whatever the Docking Bay restaurant is, I was under the impression that they had a counter service restaurant and an actual sit down where a waiter takes your order restaurant, like a high-end restaurant. That is not the case. They only have two restaurants. The first is the Ronto Wraps full, nothing but counter service. You buy it, you take it to walk. It's a wrap designed to eat while you're walking. There are no tables. There are no place to hang out. The other one, the Docking Bay restaurant, is you go up, you order it, you get your food, you sit down at tables that they have, but there's no table service. Even though the dishes are $16 to $18, which to me, I would like somebody to take my order, smile, and bring it to me. But instead, you have to take it back to your table. Now, the reviews of the food are not very good. Even the LA Times, which is known to be pretty in the pocket of Disney, remember they had that thing where Disney banned them from some movie premiere because they weren't giving good reviews to their movies, and they had to capitulate to what Disney wanted. And now there was both a written review online in the newspaper also, for those of you that still read the newspaper. But there was also a video where a guy sat down, showed you the food, and then tried it. And even he was like, at one point said, this tastes like school cafeteria food, which is not a high recommendation for a dish that costs nearly $20. So I will stay away from some of that. But during all of these food videos, and the word I know is foodies. I can't stand that word. Oh, I bristle at that slang. I'm a foodie. Well, everybody's a foodie. You're either a foodie or you're starved to death. But I wouldn't ever call myself a foodie. But they were showing people eating all these different dishes using a very distinct metal spork, which is like Star Wars utensils. I don't think they use them in the movie. I know they don't in Star Wars. I know in Attack of the Clones, Padme and Anakin share a meal a couple of times in that movie, but one of them is elegant, which wouldn't have used a spork like this, because this is meant to be like something you'd see at a rough place, in the Star Wars galaxy. They might have used it when they were getting the transport and having a snack. I don't remember. I don't think they were, but nevertheless, it's a metal oversized spoon with a jagged edge on one side spork. And the first time I saw it, I thought, well, if that's plastic, it's very convincing plastic. And I've seen a lot of plastic utensils, and very few of them look like metal. This one looked like metal, and sure enough, when they dropped it, it clinked, which means it is metal. Well, of course, if you're handing these out to people, you can guess what happened next. Somebody took one, put it in their pocket, took it home, and put it on eBay for $60. That's just human nature, man. I wouldn't do that. I would never steal anything. If I was served a metal serving dish and a metal fork at Disneyland, I would assume this belongs to Disneyland. It does not belong to me. I'm only using it while I eat. If it was included as a souvenir, I would take it home. And that's really what they should have done. Again, when theme parks open and they have all these lofty ideas, everything gets refined because you're never really certain what the guests are going to do with it. And everything is fluid. Everything has to, at some point, say, it's not working, we're going to change it. They should have given you those same serving dish and same utensil, but it should have been plastic. I know it's not Star Warsian, it's not in character, but let's be honest, people would have wiped it out, put it in their bag with the spoon, and the Disney company would have paid, half a cent for it. Instead, they paid probably $1 in bulk for this giant metal serving thing, this metal spoon. And of course, it's human nature. These jerks, and the person who stole it is a jerk. They stole it. They put it online trying to make a buck. And guess what happened? Well, I'm sure Disney contacted eBay and said, this item is stolen. And you're not allowed to sell stolen items on eBay. And it's been taken, I would assume it's been taken down. The other thing they did is you no longer get that cool metal spork at the restaurant. Instead, I'm sure they've gone to some sort of plastic utensil. I'm waiting for that video to show up so I can watch that. But that's interesting study in human behavior. It also proves the old adage, we can't have nice things, because there's always going to be some jerk who's going to ruin it. I've watched a lot of the Oga's Cantina videos. I didn't get into the Cantina, like I said. The line was way too long. But I've seen the videos. It looks great. The prices are, pardon the pun, out of this world. They have a flight set, which is like 4 samples of something. It comes in a collectible rack with 4 Rancor tooth shot glasses. It looks great. You get to keep the rack and the shot glasses, the flight, but it's $75. $75 for 4 shots and a souvenir. Wow, that's expensive. Oh my goodness. I can't afford that. And who knows if they give a cast member discount. Normally you don't get any kind of discount on alcohol for obvious reasons. The other drinks, I watch people drink them and give their reviews. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't have any affinity for that. It doesn't seem like something I want to do. And I certainly wouldn't pay a premium for it. The gift shops are all great. Like I said, it's all very expensive. I miss the Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities. I would like to have seen it because it has a hammerhead audio animatronic that moves and talks. I'd like to see that. The Ark of the Covenant is hidden up in there. I'd like to see that. More importantly, they have a whole display case of replica lightsaber hilts that are also compatible with the lightsaber blades. So if you want the whole thing without paying for the full experience. Now, the lightsaber experience with tax is $215, but that does include a $150 lightsaber because the hilts are $100. I think the blades are $50. So the experience is costing you $50. But I watched it online. I've seen the reviews. I haven't seen a single person say it wasn't worth it. It all comes off as amazing. It comes off as very elegant and different and worth the money. That's great. I wish everybody well. I can't shell out $200. I don't have it. That being said, since I was a kid, I have always wanted Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. Not the one he makes from Return of the Jedi. The one he gets from Ben Kenobi that belonged to Anakin Skywalker. That was Luke's at the end before he lost it on Bespin. They have it in the gift shop. And because what's her name? Whatever it is. The little lady in Force Awakens has it in a box, and she gives it to Rey. In the case, it's labeled as Rey's lightsaber, which I find interesting. I get what they're doing. I totally understand it. To me, no offense, it's Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. It's the one I identify with as a kid. It's the one Mark Hamill took publicity shots with that are amazing. I mean, it's a work of art made from a flash gun off of a camera. It is gorgeous. It is an item I've wanted since I was a kid. They came out with them in the 90s. Master Replicas made them. Icons made them first. It had the actors sign them, and those are thousands of dollars. Master Replicas made some that were a little cheaper. Hasbro made some that were even cheaper, but more like toys. This looks like a metal work of art, and it's 110, something like that. And I would buy that. I would love to have that. They have Darth Vader's lightsaber from A New Hope. They have all of the Jedis from Qui-Gon Jinn to Obi-Wan from Episode 1 to Ahsoka, which is from the cartoons. Hers is a 2-part one that's very expensive. It's very cool, very expensive. Those are being sold on eBay for up to $500. So the markup on those is insane. And I bet when I finally get back to Galaxy's Edge with the money to buy one, they won't have them in stock. That's just my luck. So to those who got the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, bravo, man. That is a holy grail of Star Wars fans, Star Wars collectors, and just seeing it on video and watching people look at it like it's at a jewelry store is very cool. Very, very cool. They also have a store, the Black Spire Outpost, that sells Jedi robes and Jedi sleeves. They have Rey's armbands. They have Jedi belts. It's all very expensive. Like I said, it's a very premium items. And here's the thing. It's clearly marked in the store that if you're an adult, you cannot wear these in the land. You can't have them. Strike that. You can have them, but you can't wear them. That's because they don't want anybody being fooled in the park by a guest who appears to be a cast member. I totally get that. But that does not make the pill of buying that stuff and wanting to wear it as you traipse around Galaxy's Edge any easier to swallow. It's the Howard Jones song. You can look at the menu, but you just can't eat. You can buy the Jedi robes, but you can't wear them in the street. I mean, you can't wear them. That's odd. Harry Potter, they'll dress you in that shop and send you on your way. And I'm not sure what happened with that, because you don't see any Jedis other than Rey walking around the land. And Rey's outfit is very distinctive. But you don't see generic Jedis. Everybody that I've seen walking around Galaxy's Edge has a vest or a tunic type thing, some kind of jaunty hat, because everybody was allowed to customize and make their own outfits. But the strict Episode 1 Jedi wear that they're selling in the shops doesn't look like that. So I'm not sure where that happened. And I would look for that to get dropped as the land continues to grow and live and breathe and tell you what it needs to persevere. Because if the sales in that shop are dead because people say to the clerk, I'm not going to buy it if I can't wear it. If I buy a set of mouse ears, I can wear the mouse ears. If I buy a Mickey this or a Mickey that, I can wear the Mickey this or Mickey that. But strictly here, I can't wear this stuff? No, thank you. But then there'll be people who just buy it to buy it. The news had a guy on, him and his friend had 35, 40 bags of stuff they were taking out of there. And most of that was going on eBay. They were probably keeping a little bit of it and then using the rest to finance their trip, which I don't begrudge anybody as long as you've procured it, legally and without any kind of subterfuge. I know Disney really frowns on annual pass holders buying stuff with their discount and then selling it. And they've gone so far as to ban people and take away their passes for doing so. They don't take away the payments on those passes, but they take away the passes and you can't get in anymore. And when you find out at the gate, like, why isn't my pass working? Oh, well, let me look up your records. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped against the ceiling, which has to be washed and sanitized. You get nothing. Good day, sir. You bought a Mickey Mouse toaster. You sold it on eBay. You get nothing. Good day, sir. I mean, that's the reality of it, and that's their prerogative. If they're offering you a discount, but the caveat of getting the discount is you can't resell the items, and if they catch you reselling the items, they're going to ban you from using the discount, i.e. getting in. That's what they're going to do. And when you sign in, you agree to all those terms. Everybody makes their own deal. It's when people try to change the deal that stress levels go up and people get mad. But that's a life lesson, isn't it, folks? Star Wars. Galaxy's Edge, man. I've seen people with the little soda things. It's a cheap souvenir, but one guy said it does not, it's hardly any soda. You're better off with a cup. Don't waste, unless you're taking the bottle home, which everybody is. There's no point in it. I'm really looking forward to swap meet trips the next couple of years when all this stuff starts making its way to the drive-in swap meets that I go to, and people laugh. That'll never happen. All this stuff ends up there. Every half a meal promotion a month later is clogging up the thrift stores. I've found every manner of theme park exclusive souvenir at Savers. It's just people get caught up in the moment. They make purchases of things they don't really want or need, and a year later they go, "Why do I still have this? I don't even want this." And then they get rid of it. And that's where I come in. Now, next year I plan on buying a Disney Pass. I hope I don't get in trouble for selling something that I got at the thrift store if they think I bought it at the park. So I may have to change my eBay habits because of the rules of Disneyland. And isn't that weird? Do they get mad at cast members for selling stuff? The pins. They give the cast members all these collectible pins that turn out to be really valuable. Do they bring you in and go, "Look, we're letting you go"? Oh, was it my job performance? No, you were selling your pin. Well, you gave me the pin. It's my pin. Once it's my pin, I can do whatever I want. No. If we give you a pin, you're not allowed to sell that pin unless we tell you can sell it. Well, I didn't know that. Well, you're still fired. Oh. Do I get a pin? Is there a pin? Is there a "I'm being fired from Disneyland" pin? No. Well, you guys should look into that. The way to take the sting out of getting fired. I got fired from Disneyland, and all I got was this lousy pin. And it's got a picture of, what's a bad Disney movie that nobody saw? What's the Home on the Range? It's got the cows going. They're shrugging. It says at the bottom. I don't know. Boy, we can't stop talking about Star Wars. I mean, that's what they wanted, right? They blitzed everybody, and they wanted this Galaxy's Edge thing to be a thing. And it is. I got to go, and I've done 3 or 4 or 5 episodes on it. You can't stop talking about it. Good or bad. Good or bad, you can't stop talking about it. I'll tell you, the one thing I'm truly excited for is that new ride, Rise of the Resistance. The more I hear about it, the more concept art and stills, that's going to be... I mean, think about this. Disneyland has not had an e-ticket attraction since Indiana Jones. The Millennium Falcon's a great ride, but it's not an e-ticket. It's not a ginormous e-ticket attraction. Compare Indiana Jones, Temple of the Forbidden Eye to Smuggler's Run. They're worlds apart. One is a deep, immersive journey through a temple that's all practical. The other is a fancy video game that's based on properties that we love, so it gets kind of a pass. That was, Indiana Jones was 1995, folks. It'll be 25 years almost before they have another e-ticket attraction. That's a long time. They put in rides. Finding Nemo overlay, does it count? I don't think so, because it was a pre-existing ride with upgrades. Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters was a new ride? No, it's not an e-ticket, not by any stretch. Rocket Rods was probably an e-ticket. But, we all know what happened there. If you didn't go like I did in the first 6 months or less, you didn't get to ride it. And there were days we went where it broke down while we were just about to board the darn thing. So that doesn't count because it ain't there no more. Did I miss anything? Upgrades don't count. It's got to be a brand new ride. I mean, no, Jungle Cruise doesn't count. Only the queue was changed in the boats. So yeah, Rise of the Resistance is going to be this stunning. I mean, it looks astounding. It looks like everything you want in a Star Wars immersive, high energy, Indiana Jones type dark ride, and I can't wait. Oh my goodness. And guess what's going to happen then? This whole machine is going to start all over again when that ride opens. The fervor will die out. The excitement will wane a little bit as people get easier access to Galaxy's Edge. The reservation policy ends on the 23rd. They go to the virtual queue. The virtual queue will end at some point when they realize people are just flowing in and out of the land. They're just flowing. It's all good. Just flowing in and out. And then they're going to hit with Rise of the Resistance, and they're going to have to go back to the wristband reservation thing because word is going to get out that this thing is the crown jewel of rides. I'm putting a lot on it. I'm excited about it. I mean, I can't help it. I've full-size or nearly full-size AT-ATs. I am in. Sign me up. Okay, well, I think I've talked about Galaxy's Edge enough. I'm going to wrap this up. More episodes are coming. We're going to do some 80s stuff. I've got a really fun take on 80s music. I got a fun take coming up on superheroes. I'm working on getting some really amazing guests on the show. We haven't had guests in a long time, but all of that's going to change. We're moving things around here at the Tucker House, and where and how I record the show is going to get easier. It's going to change. So if you've been sick of hearing my voice and you want to hear the rest of the family, that's hopefully going to happen soon. So thanks for tuning in. Leave us a review on iTunes. Massive thank you again to my Patreon supporters. We could not do it without you. You save my bacon every month. You have no idea. Thanks also to David for the Galaxy's Edge invite. I wouldn't be able to talk about it the way I am without having seen it for myself. Now I just sit at home and watch YouTube videos all day. Check out Random Land's video. They did a great nearly hour of Galaxy's Edge. Justin and Allie and Tyler did a great job covering it. Check out Adam the Woo. He did a great job covering it. All the highs of Star Wars this and Star Wars that. And he even bought one of the Salacious Crumb puppets. They're calling it a monkey something, but to me it's Salacious Crumb, so that's very cool. I've said very cool way too much. I'm turning into Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media. I'm Jeff Tucker. I am not live at Galaxy's Edge, and this is 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?
Well, what are you afraid of? A fate worse than death?
No, just death. Isn't that enough?